Welcome to Tales of the Twisted, true stories of the strange, weird, bizarre. Today's short brings us to the quiet mountain town of Woodland Park, Colorado, and to a discovery so unsettling it would take 7 years to surface. This is The Boy in the Chimney. He was 19 years old, tall, soft-spoken, gentle, a kid who played guitar, wandered the woods, and carried a calmness that didn't quite match the chaos of the world around him. His name was Joshua Maddux, but to the people who loved him, he was just Josh. In May of 2008, Josh stepped out of his father's house for a walk, something he did often, something no one ever thought twice about. But this time, he didn't come home. At first, his family hoped he'd taken off for a few days, maybe camping, maybe clearing his head. But as the days turned to weeks and the weeks into months, hope became a quiet, gnawing fear. 7 long years passed. That's 7 birthdays, 7 Christmases, 7 springs where the snow melted, but the truth did not. And then, in August of 2015, an old cabin on Meadowlark Lane, a forgotten structure sinking into the pines, was scheduled for demolition. A place kids once dared each other to explore. A place adults hurried past. A place no one had stepped inside for years, or so they thought. As the crew began tearing it down, one of the workers paused. Something inside the chimney wasn't right. Something was wedged in the narrow brick shaft, twisted, inverted, almost folded into itself. What they found inside that chimney stopped the world cold. A human body, mummified by time, pressed into the darkness as though trying and failing to escape. When investigators arrived, the horror became clear. The body was head down, knees bent, positioned almost like a diver frozen mid-descent. Only a thin thermal shirt clung to him. Everything else, pants, shoes, even underwear, had been removed and folded neatly inside the cabin. And when they identified the remains, the breath left the town. It was Josh, the boy who vanished on a walk, the boy no one could find, the boy now discovered in the last place anyone imagined. Authorities ruled it an accident. They suggested that Josh climbed onto the cabin roof, slipped feet first into the chimney, realized too late he was trapped, and slowly succumbed to hypothermia. But that explanation raised more questions than answers. Why were his clothes removed and folded inside the cabin when his body was discovered outside, stuck inside the chimney? Why did the cabin owner insist there was chicken wire stretched across the chimney opening, something a person couldn't slip through without tearing it apart? Why was a heavy wooden breakfast bar pushed across the fireplace from the inside, blocking the chimney open completely? And why was Josh positioned head first, as though he hadn't climbed down voluntarily, but had been forced in, shoved, or placed there after death? Whispers spread through Woodland Park of a young man Josh once knew, someone who bragged after Josh disappeared that he had put him in a hole. No charges were ever filed. No one was ever arrested. And the official explanation never changed. But anyone who hears the details feels it deep inside. People don't fold their clothes neatly, climb onto a roof, tear through wire mesh, and slide down a pitch-black chimney headfirst naked into an abandoned home. Not willingly, not alone, and not without a story that someone, somewhere, still isn't telling. To this day, Josh's death remains a silent room no one can fully enter, a mystery sealed behind brick, timber, and time. A boy who vanished, only to be found in the one place no one had thought to look, a chimney in a forgotten cabin less than a mile from home. Thank you for listening to Tales of the Twisted. If this story gripped you, if these mysteries keep you awake at night, follow the show for more true stories of the strange, weird, and bizarre. Share this episode with someone who loves the dark corners of the real world. It helps the show reach more curious minds. And join us next time when we open up another door history tried to keep shut. Until then, keep the lights low and your mind open.